Section 1.
You will hear a conversation between a dental clinic receptionist and a patient. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good morning. Dr. Simmons Dental Clinic. How may I assist you today?
Hello, I'm calling to make a dental appointment. I'm a new patient.
Certainly. Could I have your full name, please?
It's Olivia Cartwright.
Could you spell that for me?
Yes, it's Cartwright.
Thank you, Miss Cartwright. Can you tell me if you're experiencing any dental problems at the moment?
I think I might have a cavity. I've noticed some sensitivity and pain when I eat sweets or drink something cold.
That sounds uncomfortable. We can book you in for a full dental checkup and treatment if necessary. When would you prefer to come in? We have appointments available tomorrow morning or later this week.
I work in the morning, so a late afternoon or early evening appointment would be best.
Understood. We have openings on Friday at 3 p.m. with Dr. Eleanor Hughes or Wednesday at 6 p.m. with Dr. Simmons.
I think Friday at 3 p.m. works better for me.
Great. I'll reserve that slot for you. As you're a new patient, we'll need you to arrive that 15 minutes early to complete some registration paperwork. That means arriving by 2:45 p.m.
Okay, that's no problem. What should I bring with me?
Please bring a form of photo ID, such as a driving license or passport, and your NHS number if you have it. If not, don't worry, we can register you without it.
I'll bring my driving license.
Perfect. Would you prefer us to send you a reminder for your appointment?
Yes, please. Could you send me a text message?
Certainly. May I have your mobile number?
It's 07855 349 226.
Got it. You should receive a confirmation text shortly. Now, to go over the fees, the standard NHS dental checkup costs £25.80. If you need further treatment like fillings, this would come under Band 2, which is £70.70.
I see. And how do you accept payment?
We accept card payments only, including contactless and chip and pin. We do not accept cash for hygienist or dentist appointments.
Good to know. Can I pay after the appointment?
Yes, you can pay at reception after your visit.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
Excellent. By the way, how long does a checkup usually take?
A standard checkup is about 20 minutes. If you require additional treatments like a filling or x-ray, the appointment might take up to 45 minutes.
That's reasonable. Is there parking at the clinic?
Yes, we have a small car park behind the building with limited free spaces reserved for patients. Alternatively, street parking is available, but you should check the restrictions.
And how can I get there using public transport?
The clinic is on Meadow Lane, opposite Greenbank Library. The nearest underground station is Westbourne Park, about a 10 minutes walk from the clinic. You can also take the number 28 bus, which stops right outside our building.
Are the buses frequent?
Yes, the 28 bus runs approximately every 15 minutes during weekdays and weekends.
That's convenient. If I needed to reschedule or cancel, how much notice do you require?
We ask for at least 24 hours notice to avoid any cancellation fees.
Understood. Are there any special COVID-19 measures I should be aware of?
Yes, we ask patients to wear a face covering when entering the clinic and to sanitize their hands. Our waiting area has socially distanced seating, and we thoroughly clean all rooms between patients.
Good to hear you're taking precautions. What if I have dental anxiety?
We understand. Our dentists are experienced in helping nervous patients. You can let Dr. Hughes know when you arrive, and she can take extra time to make you comfortable.
That's reassuring. Thank you. Does the clinic offer private treatment options?
Yes, we do. Private treatment costs vary depending on the procedure, but we can provide you with an estimate at your appointment.
Okay. Could you also tell me about your opening hours?
We're open Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're closed on Sundays.
That fits well with my schedule.
Perfect. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
No, I think that covers everything. Thanks very much for your help.
You're very welcome, Miss Cartwright. We look forward to seeing you this Friday at 2:45 p.m.
That is the end of Section 1.
Section 2.
You will hear the secretary of a rock climbing club giving an introduction to new members. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14. Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 14.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Richmond Rock Climbing Club. My name is Simon Fletcher, and I'm the club secretary. This session is particularly for new members, and I'll be walking you through some of the most important rules, safety guidelines, and membership regulations. Please do pay close attention, as understanding these is key to your continued participation. Let's begin with safety. First and foremost, all members must complete a safety induction before using the climbing walls. This includes an assessment by one of our certified instructors. For most people, this is done by Rachel Hart, our lead trainer. She conducts inductions every Tuesday and Thursday evening. Once passed, you'll receive a green wristband, which must be worn visibly whenever you are on the walls. No wristband, no climbing. Each induction session lasts around 45 minutes and covers everything from putting on a harness correctly to checking knots and learning basic climbing calls. We understand some of you may already be experienced climbers, but for insurance purposes, we require everyone to go through this process. No exceptions. Once the assessment is complete, you'll also receive a digital copy of our safety handbook via email. When it comes to gear, the club provides harnesses, helmets, chalk bags, and climbing shoes for new members. However, after your first month, you will need to either rent or bring your own equipment. We have a gear rental desk run by George Simmons. He also checks all equipment returned at the end of each session. Make sure you return items on time and in good condition. Damage may result in a penalty fee. If you're unsure about whether a piece of gear is suitable or not, speak to George. He's happy to give recommendations based on your climbing level. Moving on to opening hours, the climbing center is open Monday to Friday from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. and on weekends from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We ask that you arrive at least 15 minutes before your booked session, especially during peak times. During weekdays, we offer supervised sessions from 4 to 6 p.m. for junior climbers aged 12 to 17. Outside of those hours, juniors must be accompanied by an adult. If you're interested in improving your skills, we run monthly workshops. These are open to all members, but booking is essential as spaces are limited. Topics range from bouldering techniques to belaying. Our next workshop is on fall arrest systems and will be led by experienced climber Ellie Marsh. Members who attend 4 or more workshops in a calendar year will receive a certificate of progression, which some of our more competitive climbers use to apply for advanced training courses.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 15 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 15 to 20.
Let me now mention our behavior policy. We expect all members to be respectful and courteous at all times. This includes using appropriate language, helping to maintain cleanliness in shared spaces, and following instructions from staff. Climbing under the influence of alcohol or drugs is strictly prohibited and may result in immediate suspension. Members should also be mindful of how long they spend on routes during busy periods so that everyone has a chance to climb. As for fees, our standard membership is £40 a month, which includes unlimited climbing access and a discount on workshops. Students receive a 25% discount, and we also offer a family package. Payments can be made by direct debit or card. You'll be reminded of your renewal date via email 1 week in advance. We also offer a pay-as-you-go option at £12 per session, but most members find that a monthly plan is more economical if they climb regularly. All accidents, however minor, must be reported to the duty manager immediately. There's an incident logbook at the reception desk, and reporting helps us keep the facility safe for everyone. If you feel unwell or dizzy while climbing, please alert a staff member straight away. We have a qualified first aider on duty at all times. A quick note about lockers. They're free to use, but you must bring your own padlock. Any items left overnight will be removed and stored in lost property. We clear the lockers each night to ensure there is space for incoming members the following day. We also host a quarterly club social. These events are a great way to meet fellow climbers, exchange tips, and hear from guest speakers. Our next one is scheduled for the last Friday of next month and will feature James Rudd, a mountaineer who recently returned from a Himalayan expedition. Lastly, if you have any suggestions, complaints, or ideas for improvement, we invite you to use the comment box located just by the water station. We review every submission at our weekly staff meetings. Thank you all for your attention. We're thrilled to have you as part of the Richmond Rock Climbing Club, and we hope you enjoy every climb.
That is the end of Section 2.
Section 3.
You will hear a conversation between a tutor and 3 students discussing their group project on renewable energy. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Good afternoon, Oliver, Emily, and James. I hope your group project on renewable energy is progressing well. Let's take some time to review what you've worked on and address any challenges you're facing.
Thanks, Professor Williams. We've gathered plenty of research but need help structuring our presentation.
Yes, we've focused on comparing 3 sources of renewable energy, solar, wind and hydropower, but we're unsure how to present it clearly.
That's a good start. Let's break it down. How have you structured your content so far?
We thought of starting with a brief introduction to renewable energy, then moving on to the 3 sources, explaining their advantages and limitations.
That approach makes sense, but real-world examples will make your presentation more engaging. Have you included any case studies?
Yes, we found information on large-scale solar farms in Sussex, offshore wind projects near Norfolk, and hydroelectric plants in Scotland.
Excellent choices. Britain has made significant strides in renewable energy, particularly with offshore wind farms. You might also mention the UK's commitment to reaching net zero emissions by 2050.
That's a great point. We'll add information about government policies supporting renewables.
One challenge we're facing is refining our argument. We want to show why renewables are better than fossil fuels without oversimplifying things.
A fair concern. A good way to frame your argument is to compare environmental impact, cost efficiency, and reliability. Don't ignore the drawbacks, such as the initial investment cost and dependence on weather conditions, but ensure the overall message is balanced.
That makes sense. We'll adjust our analysis to be more comprehensive.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 13. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Another issue is dividing our speaking parts. We want the presentation to flow naturally.
The best strategy is to assign sections based on expertise and interest. If Oliver is comfortable discussing solar energy, he should take that part. Emily and James can handle wind and hydro power.
That sounds fair. We'll divide the content accordingly.
We also wondered if we should include emerging technologies.
Absolutely. The future of renewable energy is an exciting topic. You could mention advancements in battery storage, floating solar farms, and tidal energy projects. Britain is developing tidal power initiatives, such as those in Wales and the Orkney Islands.
That's great. We'll include information on tidal energy.
We need to think about visuals too. Would charts and graphs help?
Definitely. A comparison chart showing energy output, costs, and environmental impact would make your arguments clearer. Keep it simple and easy to understand.
That's helpful. We'll create comparison charts.
We're also struggling with the conclusion. How do we wrap up effectively?
Your conclusion should reinforce your key points and leave the audience with something to think about. You could highlight Britain's renewable energy progress and end with a thought-provoking question, such as how can the UK accelerate its transition to 100% renewable energy?
That's a brilliant idea. Ending with a question will make the presentation more memorable.
Exactly. Engaging the audience at the end encourages discussion.
We also realized that while our research is solid, we need to work on making our presentation delivery engaging.
That's a key element. Good delivery keeps the audience interested. Try practicing with clear, confident speech. Keep eye contact, use gestures when appropriate, and avoid reading from slides too much. Make it feel natural.
Got it. We'll rehearse to ensure our delivery is smooth and engaging.
Professor, do you think we should include a short video clip showcasing renewable energy in action?
That's an excellent idea. If you can find or create a high-quality video showing solar farms, wind turbines, or hydroelectric dams, it will make your presentation much more dynamic.
That's a great suggestion. We'll look for a clip that supports our key points.
You're all thinking strategically about this project, which is great. Keep refining your work, and I'm sure your presentation will be excellent.
That is the end of Section 3.
Section 4.
You will hear a talk on the topic of exercise science and its applications in fitness training. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to discuss exercise science and how understanding the physiological principles behind physical training can dramatically improve fitness outcomes. As exercise scientists, we study how the human body responds and adapts to physical activity, and this knowledge forms the foundation of effective training programs. Let me begin by explaining the three fundamental energy systems that power all human movement. The first system is the phosphocreatine system, also known as the ATP-PC system. This provides immediate energy for high-intensity activities lasting up to 10 seconds, such as weightlifting or sprinting. The fuel source is creatine phosphate stored directly in muscle cells, which can regenerate ATP almost instantaneously. However, these stores are extremely limited. The second energy system is glycolysis, which breaks down glucose or glycogen to produce energy. This system operates without oxygen and can sustain moderate to high-intensity exercise for approximately 2 minutes. Activities like 400-meter running or repeated weightlifting sets rely heavily on this anaerobic system. The major limitation is the accumulation of lactate, which causes that familiar burning sensation in working muscles. The third system is oxidative metabolism, our aerobic energy system. This process uses oxygen to break down carbohydrates and fats, providing energy for prolonged, lower-intensity activities. Marathon running, cycling, and steady-state cardio exercises predominantly use this system. While it produces energy more slowly than the other systems, it can operate for hours without significant fatigue. Understanding these energy systems is crucial for designing effective training programs. The principle of specificity states that training adaptations are specific to the demands placed on the body. If you want to improve your 100-meter sprint performance, you must train the phosphocreatine system through short, high-intensity intervals. Conversely, marathon preparation requires extensive aerobic system development through longer, moderate-intensity sessions. Now, let's examine the concept of training zones, which are based on percentages of maximum heart rate or lactate threshold. Zone 1 represents very light intensity, typically 50 to 60% of maximum heart rate. This is ideal for recovery sessions and base fitness development. Zone 2, our aerobic base zone, operates between 60 and 70% of maximum heart rate. This zone improves fat oxidation and builds cardiovascular efficiency without excessive stress. Zone 3, the aerobic threshold zone, ranges from 70 to 80% of maximum heart rate. Training in this zone improves the body's ability to clear lactate and enhances aerobic power. Zone 4 represents our lactate threshold, operating between 80 and 90% of maximum heart rate. This is where lactate accumulation begins to exceed clearance, and it's crucial for improving high-intensity endurance performance. Finally, Zone 5 encompasses maximum efforts above 90% of maximum heart rate. This neuromuscular power zone develops the phosphocreatine system and improves sprint capacity. Elite athletes typically spend about 80% of their training time in Zones 1 and 2, with only 20% in high-intensity zones. The principle of progressive overload is fundamental to all training adaptations. This means gradually increasing training stress over time through manipulation of frequency, intensity, or duration. Without progressive overload, the body maintains its current fitness level rather than improving. However, overload must be applied systematically to avoid overtraining syndrome. Overtraining occurs when training stress exceeds the body's recovery capacity. Symptoms include persistent fatigue, declining performance, mood disturbances, and increased susceptibility to illness. Research indicates that inadequate sleep, poor nutrition, and psychological stress can all contribute to overtraining. Prevention requires careful monitoring of training loads and ensuring adequate recovery periods. Recovery is equally important as the training stimulus itself. During rest periods, the body adapts to training stress through a process called supercompensation. Muscle protein synthesis increases, energy stores replenish, and cellular repairs occur. Without sufficient recovery, these adaptations cannot take place effectively. Sleep plays a particularly crucial role in exercise recovery. During deep sleep, growth hormone release peaks, promoting tissue repair and regeneration. Research shows that athletes sleeping less than 7 hours per night demonstrate significantly impaired performance and increased injury risk. Additionally, sleep deprivation disrupts appetite regulation hormones, potentially affecting body composition goals. Nutrition timing also influences training adaptations. Consuming protein within 2 hours post-exercise maximizes muscle protein synthesis rates. Carbohydrate intake immediately after training helps replenish muscle glycogen stores, particularly important for athletes training multiple times a day. The concept of periodized nutrition matches dietary strategies to specific training phases. Let's discuss periodization, which involves systematic planning of training variables over time. Linear periodization progresses from high-volume, low-intensity training toward low-volume, high-intensity preparation. This traditional model works well for sports with single competitive peaks. However, undulating periodization varies intensity and volume more frequently, sometimes daily or weekly, and may be more suitable for sports requiring multiple peaks throughout the year. Block periodization focuses intensively on specific fitness qualities during concentrated training phases. For example, an athlete might spend 4 weeks emphasizing aerobic capacity, followed by 4 weeks of lactate threshold development, then 4 weeks of neuromuscular power training. This approach allows deeper adaptations to specific energy systems. Modern exercise science also recognizes the importance of individual variation in training responses. Genetic factors influence everything from muscle fiber composition to recovery rates. Some individuals respond better to high-intensity training, while others benefit more from higher volume approaches. Successful coaches learn to identify these individual characteristics and modify programs accordingly. Technology now enables precise monitoring of training responses through heart rate variability, power meters, and metabolic testing. These tools help optimize training prescription and prevent overreaching. However, technology should supplement, not replace, understanding of fundamental exercise science principles. In conclusion, effective training requires understanding how energy systems operate, applying progressive overload systematically, ensuring adequate recovery, and individualizing approaches based on specific goals and physiological characteristics. This scientific approach maximizes training efficiency and reduces injury risk, whether you're coaching elite athletes or designing programs for general fitness enthusiasts.
That is the end of section 4.